Every gamer deserves a great gaming display, whether that's high refresh rate for their more esports titles, or whether it's good colour reproduction for their more story-driven experiences. I recently upgraded to the Lenovo G20 27-inch gaming monitor. It's an IPS monitor that's 1080p and it doesn't break the bank either. And if you've been following my social media recently, I upgraded from that monitor to an LG B1 OLED TV. It's nothing to take away from the monitor, it's just I wanted to go OLED and have a more casual gaming experience when I'm playing on my Xbox. The G20 27-inch gaming monitor from Lenovo was released back in 2020, so it's not that old, it's only about 2 years old. And it retails for £230, but it can regularly be seen below that £230. Personally, I got it for £160, so for £230 I wouldn't recommend it, as we'll get into this video, but for £160, it's really good at the price point. The panel on this monitor is great. It's 27-inch, 1920 by 1080 at 144Hz, so it's great for them esports games. It's also IPS, so it's got that really good colour reproduction, and the response time is pretty great at 1 millisecond. It also covers 99% of the sRGB colour gamut, which is not too bad. My main monitor, the Asus behind me, my ultra wide, covers 100% of it, so it's not that far off the mark. So for gaming, this monitor is pretty great for colours, stuff like that. I wouldn't use it for productivity, stuff like Photoshop, Lightroom, video editing, stuff like that, even though you can do it, but if you're a professional, I wouldn't choose this monitor, if that makes sense. It also comes with AMD FreeSync Premium, which is very good if you've got that AMD GPU, and it is also G-Sync compatible. I've verified this and it works flawlessly. Connectivity on this monitor is kind of lacking, but as a main gaming display I don't think it'd be too much of a problem if you're just using one machine. And that's because there's only one HDMI 1.4 and there's also one DisplayPort which is running at 1.2. There is also a 3.5mm audio jack for audio pass-through, and the monitor does have speakers, although they're not the best. I haven't done a play test because I don't have the monitor at the minute. But the speakers are, that'll do. If you want to listen to audio properly, either have a headset or use external speakers. Out of the box, I did have to do some calibration on the monitor to get it to how I like it, but that's not really a problem because a lot of people like their monitors differently. I like mine to be quite saturated in colour. I don't like it too saturated, but a bit more than normal. It does take a bit, but the controls are on the back and they are kind of in an awkward position. But to be fair, it didn't take too long and I like the end result of what the monitor actually looked like. This monitor also has support for HDR decoding. I don't know how this actually works because I haven't tested HDR out on this monitor, but I have been hearing that HDR isn't really worth bothering with on a monitor like this because the implementation is basically the bare minimum just to get the HDR cert on it. Getting on to what I really like about this monitor is the colours. Because it's an IPS monitor, it's got them really good viewing angles, so you can basically look at it from the side and the colours won't shift like a TN panel. If you ever look at a TN panel, I think you'll know what I mean, like where the colours go all inverted and weird and it just doesn't look great. This doesn't happen to IPSs anywhere near as much as TN panel monitors. The monitor, for the price point I paid for, actually does look very sleek. There's hardly any bezels around the side and there's obviously the monitor chin, but I'm cool with that. It doesn't look bad at all. And yeah, the bezels around like the outsides and that, they look fine. So yeah, it's a good looking monitor. And with the price that this monitor goes on sale for in the UK, it's really worth it. £160 for a 27-inch 1080p 144Hz IPS monitor. Not bad at all. It's a really good deal. Getting on to the things that I don't quite like about this monitor, the connectivity. There's just not enough ports on there. It's not a big deal breaker, but I would like to see at least 2 HDMI ports and a single display port, or the other way around, something like that. 2 connections, it's better than just one HDMI or one display port, but I would like to see more. Another thing I don't quite like, and I'm not sure if that's because of my specific model that I've got, but but there is a strange sort of like coil whiny sound when the screen is displaying a black image. I don't know what it is. It does it on Xbox and PC, so it does it over both DisplayPort and HDMI, so I don't quite know what's going on there. It's not that bad, to be fair. If you've got headphones on, you can't really hear it at all, especially when audio's playing, you cannot hear it at all. So yeah, it's just a bit of an odd one, that one is. To round off the video, I like the value of this monitor. You get a lot for paying around £160. Don't pay the £230, it's not worth it at that price, because you get into the territory of 1440p panels there. So pay around 170, 160, something like that, and then you're getting a lot of features for the money you're paying. And this monitor is ultimately best for those who like to play esports games and they want their games to also look very good. So people like me really, who like to play a bit of competitive games, but they also like to see good story driven games as well, and they want them to look good. So with all that being said, I'm going to leave the video here. So if you like the video, like it and stay subscribed, because I do have an LG B1 review coming soon, and it's going to be, it's just so good. So make sure you stay subscribed to that, and I'll catch you in the next one.